This video is going to be your complete guide for driving for Uber Eats on the most updated 2025 app. This is coming from someone who's driven for years in different marketplaces. I've seen the app change, and I want to go in the app with you to look at actually what I use, newer features and just features in general. So A, you can make obviously as much money as possible. B, you can have some strategy. And C, you can understand what might be changing in 2025 as Uber looks to actually update their driver app. All right, let's open our Uber driver app here. And there's some things in here that do pertain to rideshare, because when you sign up for Uber, they want you ideally on both rideshare, or they call it mobility, and Uber Eats, but we'll focus on Uber Eats driving today. So the first thing that opens up is a lot. We see a lot of indicators. We have a flashing go button here. We have a lot of info. Let's just start from the top left and we'll work our way around. So this top left here, it's a 3-line menu. It's just that. It's your main menu, and we can see I have 2 notifications. So let's click on this. Starting from the top down, if you just click on your profile right here, it'll bring up just that, your profile view. So this is helpful if you want to look at metrics for any metrics-based rewards programs. And we can see relevant highlights here, your rides, deliveries, trips, etc., and when you initially joined. Looking at the insights here, I do want you to have good ratings here and see the acceptance rate. See how mine is 35% and it's red. It's basically low. Now, there's a trend line that I increased it from even lower. Don't worry about that. It's red. It looks bad. It has an exclamation point. You're not going to be deactivated. You can't lose your account just for having a low acceptance rate. That's just a percent of times that you accept a prospective offer that the app sends you. Now, cancellation rate here you do want to be smart with this. You don't want to accept an offer and then cancel it. If you do that too much on basically any gig app, that can get you deactivated or lose access to that respective app. So to clarify, if I get prospective offers, if I don't like it, I can decline. I can say, no, I don't want it. I decline. Sometimes it's an X. I can do that as much as I want. It might lower my acceptance rate. That's fine. But once I click on that accept button, it's assumed that, it's your offer, that you're going to complete and deliver that offer. I would reserve cancellations for exceptionally long wait times, traffic, something came up, personal emergency, issue with your vehicle, things like that. All right, let's jump out of here and we'll go back into the 3-line menu here. We'll just go down from continuing top to the bottom. Inbox, any messages, notifications from Uber. This is kind of important because sometimes they'll announce new things here, like their newer programs, features. You can see notifications here when I did get a tip from a customer on an actual assignment. So I would jump in here basically on every shift, just check in and see what they're announcing. Refer friends, there is affiliate opportunities here as well. You can send out referral links to your friends only. Don't send that to like mass boards, and don't have any paid traffic and stuff like that. It won't qualify. Opportunities. This is also very important. This is one of the most important sections of this menu tab here. So if we click on this, it's just that. It's opportunities, but specifically earnings opportunities. Now look at the top here. See how it says new too. Now what I like to click on is this promotions tab right here, because look below, it'll announce things that are going on in your marketplace. And that kind of pertains more so to rideshare typically, because I have both in my profile, mobility and food delivery. But what I like to do is I just click on that promos tab. It'll filter out any events. It'll just show you any promo pay. Right now, I don't have any promo pay, but if I did, it would be shown here. Earnings tab below that, you can click on any earnings for the week. You can see further details here. So let's go to a week with some earnings on it. Let's look at this one right here, December 2nd through December 9th. And I'm just using the arrows to scroll between the dates. 67.58. And you can see here a good breakdown, honestly, of your earnings for that respective week. If I click on any specific day like this, it'll highlight just the day. If I click on it again, it'll show the entire week. There's my online time, trips completed, points. That does matter for any points-based rewards program. So you might see Uber Eats Pro on your menu, on that 3-line menu I talked about. You get points based on the deliveries you complete and the time that you completed them. I'll leave some more resources on the Uber Eats Pro and their points program linked in the description. And then below that, the breakdown, you see your general net fare there. It's food delivery. It still says net fare. And then the tip. And that's important because I want you to have what I call a one-to-one. So I want your general pay from like base pay from the company, maybe promo pay in there, that pay to be basically mirrored in your customer tip. So in this case, $37, and I'm pretty close to that with $30 in tips. That just means generally, and there's some variability in this, that generally enough customers are tipping, the percent of customers that are tipping, and they're tipping a decent amount to get me enough money from tips, because it's base pay from the company plus any promotional pay plus tips equals your total pay. Below that, if I click on see earnings activity, that'll get me an entire breakdown of a per delivery or per ride basis. So we can see some right here, and I can actually click in these as well to get further breakdowns of that specific trip. You can see here trip details. Okay, let's go back to the 3-line menu again. Now here's that Uber Eats Pro. So it might say Uber Pro if you have mobility, or you're doing both mobility and food delivery. Now, if you're mainly or only doing food delivery, it'll say Uber Eats Pro. Now, this is their rewards program on either one, Uber Pro or Uber Eats Pro. It's a rewards program. I won't do a full breakdown of Uber Eats Pro and the point system, but I will again leave some resources linked in the description for you. But basically, like I mentioned, I get points for completing deliveries, and then the time when I completed the deliveries, and then based on my points, I get different rewards tiers. And then not only that, but I have some metrics requirements to hit as well. We can see in this case, I'm at 35% acceptance rate. So for the rewards program here, and this might vary by marketplace, based on my metrics and based on my points, I have gold status. And the thing with this gold and different tiers, platinum, etc. rewards program called preferred deliveries on Uber Eats is since I have gold, I do have priority access to higher paying offers. Now, the higher tiers with higher metrics and more points get even more priority to those higher paying offers. Going back to our menu, looking at our wallet here, here's how you're paid. Here's your scheduling of pay. And then you can also make sure you have the correct payout method linked here as well. Again, back in the menu here, the last main category though, the account here. This is important because there is a lot of helpful information in here that you probably will need to not maybe reference frequently, but needs to be referenced to make sure your account's okay. Things like setting up your vehicle, you can do that here. You can add a vehicle if need be. Your work hub, this is pretty important because, for instance, I'm mainly doing this account food delivery. So I want to make sure that I qualify for any food delivery offers shown here. So connect, direct, the main food delivery, verifying your insulated bag, which is helpful obviously on food delivery. You have a standard hot and cold bag, but if you have a pizza bag or a catering bag, you send them a picture and it'll qualify you for more orders that require an insulated bag. And shop and deliver as well. So we'll go over the filtering that you can do when you're driving, but just to qualify here, you'll need the Uber Plus card, which is the card that you use. It's pre-authorized with funds. The Uber Plus card, that's how you actually pay for the shop and deliver offers. Back to the account tab here, let's go to documents. Here's where you're going to submit the documents for the qualified offer type. So we can see here delivery, rides. If I click on view documents, the background check, driver's license. So here's where you're going to update it if you need to update your driver's license. Profile photo, you can see there the insulated bag picture, and then similar things for the rides option. Beneath that, there is the plus card that I mentioned that you'll need for any shop and deliver requests. Beneath that, here is your tax info. So one main thing I want to point out here is, yes, you need to make sure you fill out a W-9, which is basically just a form that reports your tax information to, in this case, Uber. So make sure to fill out that W-9. You're going to need to do that. But even beneath here, if you want or if you need to reference current or past tax forms, here's where you're going to do it. You can click on tax forms right here. And right here, you can see I have all of my tax forms. So what you're looking for is the 1099K, or it might say, as you can see here, 1099 MISC or miscellaneous. It just depends on the year of the tax form and what the form was called at that time. All of my 1099Ks or MISCs, or sometimes it was called NEC, all my forms going way back to 2015. Back into our accounts tab here, let's click on Manage Uber Accounts. And here's where you can reference any basic info on your accounts, passwords, account info, etc. We have insurance here. Uber does carry some insurance for your rides and deliveries. There's different stages of coverage as well. And I do recommend that you don't want to just have a regular personal policy, because if you're using your personal vehicle, that's typically what we're doing here, right? If you're using your personal vehicle for business, and let's say you get in an at-fault accident and you make a claim with your provider, they're going to say, this accident happened when you were using your personal vehicle for business. We did not know that you planned on doing that. We're not covering that. We're under the impression that you're using your vehicle for leisure, for just personal driving. So you might not be covered. If you submit an at-fault accident claim to your provider, make sure, shop around, but mention to them, I need gig coverage. It might be called gap coverage. It might be called, even I've heard it called rideshare coverage, even though it covers other 1099 gig work. Most every major provider now has some kind of gap or gig coverage, and it's typically not that much extra per month. Make sure to shop around every, I'd say, 6 or 12 months. You should have that. Beneath that, we have privacy. And interestingly here, if you ever want to, we have information and action on account deletion as well. Below that, we have security features, but I want to show you these app settings right here. This is important because a lot of this is on the operational front of when you're actually driving. Things like you can see right here, sound and voice. Navigation, I'd make sure to change that like basically on day one to set it for the GPS that you would like. I like this one as well. If we click on communication, choose how you want customers to reach you. Call or chat is recommended, but then you can select just call preferred or chat preferred. And you can see here, I prefer chat because imagine you're on the road, you're trying to look at your navigation, you're trying to do your thing and not have to worry about a customer calling you. You can just get back to them on chat. When you have the time, you pull over and then you can respond instead of having to manage everything at once. Display, funny enough, as you just saw, if you prefer whatever it is, bright white mode, you can do that there. PIN verification, this is pretty new actually. So a lot of the times in the past, the passenger or the customer was the one that gave you a PIN, and the app just kind of deemed when they would need to do it. So now with this feature, you as the driver or courier would deem when you want a PIN. Typically, Uber would just kind of do that, but now you can say, no, I want it on every trip or just the next session, etc. Follow my ride. That's a good safety feature. You can see here, let friends and family follow along. Exactly that. So you can share your ride or delivery status with others. We have emergency contacts, Siri shortcuts if you're an iOS user, speed limits if you want it to show in the navigation as well, and more safety features like this 911 data sharing, RideCheck. So that's an automatic feature. If something seems to be off in your ride or your delivery, like you're going completely in the wrong direction, it's taking way longer and something seems off, or if you're just stopped for a long time, let's say at a pickup, then there's different safety features there that'll be done automatically. And record my ride, that's specifically for rideshare because you have a passenger in the vehicle, but you don't even need a dash cam anymore. So Uber has a feature where they can just record the interior of the cabin with your phone, because you have your phone, you should at least have your phone in a phone holder. We have a team storefront for accessories, it's linked down below. But you can record, you can see from your phone, or if you do have a dash cam, you could do that here. So back to our home screen here, let's move to the right and look at this earnings section right here. So we can see here how much you earned today, or if I swipe, how much I earned on my last trip. And if you don't want anyone seeing that because that is at the top of your app here. We can click that eye icon and see how it goes into privacy mode. Because if you're driving, let's say rideshare, you don't want to be on your app and have maybe a passenger see how much you're making. And if I click on View Weekly Summary, that's going to go right into the Earnings tab that we talked about. Continuing around to the right here, let's click on that magnifying glass. Now, here's a destination filter. So this is nice. We can see here 2 uses available today. Typically on rideshare, you can try it on Uber Eats, or maybe help me out down below. I've just never really used it on Uber Eats. But let's say you're on rideshare and I'm 20 minutes away for whatever reason to where I really want to be. So I can set a destination filter to that zone where I want to be. In Uber mobility, rideshare in this case, it will try to find me requests that are headed in that zone. Now, looking at the main kind of app here, it's pretty, intuitive. It's like any kind of map app here. Pinch to zoom out. It'll show your current location here with the arrow icon. Now, it will show kind of these little stores. And you can see how there's a little bit of a gray around there. If I click on that, it'll say busy area. And we can navigate, you can see, to these busy areas. Now, I call busy areas power strips, areas that are really dense with restaurants on food delivery or just opportunities on rideshare. I'd use these busy areas, but I wouldn't necessarily always navigate to them. I would think if you're doing food delivery, think to yourself, based on where restaurants are, do people order from those restaurants? Is it a popular area? Are there enough restaurants? Are there customers in the general vicinity that would order from those restaurants? Are those restaurants even open depending on the time of day? Then I would stage or wait at those power strips. You can drive there maybe 5 minutes if you have to. Obviously, if you're in a more suburban, marketplace, you might have to drive a little further. But then I would just sit there. I would not drive around continually waiting for a request. You're wasting miles on your vehicle. You don't have an assignment. I would find one of those power strips and park and wait in it, or at least nearby, and then wait for your request to come in. Let's continue down the main home screen here on this icon right here. Now, this is a live reporting feature. Think like Waze. You can report traffic, accidents, closures, etc. Beneath that, now this is interesting as well. This is an earnings trend map and pretty intuitive, straightforward, more dollar signs, more potential to earn. But that's true. I mean, Uber's sharing some very, very general data. But again, this isn't really something that I personally follow too closely, especially with food delivery, maybe more so with rideshare. I more so rely on experience. Obviously, if you're new, it's going to take a couple of weeks, some driving to get used to it, but your marketplace best. Know those power strips, the places generally that are open, that are popular, that also, get enough orders, at least you would imagine. Now, beneath that, you see how there's a little target. So if you ever scroll out and you're a little further away from your live location, just click on that. It'll just bring it back kind of centered. And then if we go straight left to the other side, there's your safety features right here, this safety toolkit. Now that main button, really the only one that's moving, that go button, let's just click it. Let's go online, obviously. Now look, it said unable to go online, take a photo of yourself to confirm it's your account. Let's do it right now. So this is pretty common. Hello, hello. Just take a selfie like that. It's basically just confirming like your photo with your uploaded driver's license. And then you're good. Only takes a couple of seconds. Now we're online. And there you go. Now to go offline, we're going to click this section right here. And right here at the bottom is go offline. Okay. Now don't worry if you happen to get it. Like if I got an offer right there, don't worry about it. Again, it's going to affect your acceptance rate. That's calculated on a rolling basis. It's typically not going to hurt you at all. I mean, unless you're going for an acceptance rates based rewards program like that preferred deliveries I talked about, but it's not going to negatively really affect your account. So don't worry about that. Now I mentioned there's a filtering feature that's on the other side here. So this button right here is a filter feature. Now here, look, I have Uber X, which is the standard, like rideshare ride. I have that off. I have Uber Pet off, just transporting people's pets. Now, obviously, I can just click them back on, and I can do any combination basically that I want. You can see here. Now, beneath that, there is a filter for shop and deliver orders. Pretty self-explanatory. If I want it on, I can turn it on and off just like that. If I don't want to go into a retail store, a grocery store, or just any shopping offer, alcohol, etc., if I don't want to do any of those, I can just turn it off right here. Now, you don't need to have the physical card on you. You can load it on your digital wallet if that's available as well. Let's go back to the main screen here. I'm going to wrap up the other major features of the Uber and Uber Eats driver app. But if you got this far, drop a like in this video. All I do is help you make money in different side hustles. And let me know which one of these filters you might need more help with or more clarification. And or I guess which one you might find yourself using the most. So beneath our online status, we have the Uber Eats Pro or preferred deliveries status here. So at least here in Pittsburgh, at the time of filming this, we have that rewards program, preferred deliveries. So it's showing me my status here. Now, if we scroll up like this, it's basically, you can think of it as a summary announcement board of different features here. And actually, you know what? Let's see if we can get a request together. Just to tell you really quickly. Oh, perfect. There you go. There's an offer. And actually, it's on preferred deliveries. So I'm looking at offers like this on food delivery, $9.45. It's on that preferred deliveries program that we have here in Pittsburgh. It's a gold status offer here. $9.45 for 20 minutes for 3.5 miles. Now, I want you to get at least $1.75 paid out per mile, ideally $2 to $3 plus. If it's dead slow, you can settle for $1.20, but I really want you higher there again, around $1.75 as a base. So this one hits that. Now, then I'm also thinking about the dollars to time ratio that I call it. That was the dollars to mile payout ratio. Now the dollars to time payout. So how would making $9.45 for 20 minutes sound? So I think about it like this. If I'm going to take 2 to 3 offers ish, it depends on a few things, per hour, $9.45 for 20 minutes. If I get 2 other offers that take 20 minutes in that hour, so I'm completing 3, that would pay $9-ish per assignment. That's pretty good. On the hourly, I'd like you to hit at least $20 an hour. My goal for you is always $25 plus, but at least $20 an hour. If I got 2 similar offers here at $9.45, that's $28.35 per hour. Even if they paid a little bit less, I would still be hitting $20, ideally $25 plus there. That's why we want offers that have a good cash flow, that pay enough, but then you don't have to drive too far, so it doesn't take too much time. 20 minutes here, so I can do more offers and more high-paying offers per hour. That's what I call the margin strategy. You might take less offers because you're a little more picky, but they're higher margin, so hopefully I can do 3 offers and make, like I just showed you, some good money. That's or the volume strategy. Okay, I can't find, for whatever reason, higher margined offers. I'll just have to take more. 3, maybe 4 offers in the hour that pay a little bit less, but then the hourly is still okay. So let me know in 2025, which one of these features would you use the most? And as you start driving, or if you've been driving for a little bit, what should Uber or Uber Eats platform add in 2025? And keep in mind, again, they're planning on completely revamping the driver app as well. But what should they add to save you time and, of course, make you more money?